Well, everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you're new, to an episode of Bedrock Hardcore. Forgive my frame rates while my computer loads in the world. There we go. So, what are we doing today? That is the question. Hold on. Yum. Today, we are starting a new project. I mean, it's still this project. The Pirate City. The Pirate City of Cape Kraken. Yep. There he is. Don't look at the spoilers to the left. And technically this is a spoiler too. Alright. Bam. And ta-da! Okay. If we hop up here real quick. You see, this is our island. This is the island of Cape Kraken. Now, Cape Kraken has our major roadways. It has a couple buildings marked out. A lighthouse. But what does a pirate city really need? It needs a dock, or a pier, for boats to come into and go out from. So, today we are starting that. We are starting that with this guy down here. This is the retaining wall design I came up with to place basically from that pillar there around to the other side of the lighthouse. So I threw this together because I have a lot of tough and a lot of deep slate. So what we're doing is this cobbled deep slate as the base. We're going to break it up a little bit with the brick? What do they call that one? Whatever this one is. Yes. And then a little bit of this for contrast towards the top. And then we're capping it with tuff. And then on all the corners, all the major corners, we will get the slabs. And that will be placed up against jungle wood, which will fill most of this area. And then we'll have a line probably shooting out here, and another one over here, and maybe another one over here. And we'll eventually have boats at them. At least a couple. I think at least two. Obviously brought here by the lighthouse. Now, my one worry in doing all this, and starting to fill out the city, and getting the scale of things down, is that the lighthouse is going to continually look smaller. Which might work, might not. So that's something I'm going to have to keep in mind. But yeah. So, I'm going to take a little bit of time and continue this line around to have a base to start with. And then I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Well, you know how I said I'd see you tomorrow? That was 3 days ago. I had a decent weekend, was a little busy, and then I went to a DCI show. For those of you who don't know, DCI is Drum Corps International. It's a drum and bugle corps. It's marching shows. Like the most professional, the major leagues, right? It's a bunch of kids, like 16 to 21, who march professionally and play an instrument and is a lot of fun if you can go see it. My mom used to do it back in the 80s, and so, I've heard about it for a while. I marched in high school and finally went and saw a show. It was a lot of fun. But anywhere you go and you're in a big crowd of people, odds are you're going to get a little sick. So that took me out for a day, and then a little bit that was yesterday, and then I was still a little recuperating today, but now I've got on. I have been a little busy though. Um, yeah, I went ahead and got that figured out. So what we're looking at here is two outset docks for ships, like 2 or 3 ships. This is how the wall turned out. I kind of like it. That sand down there is bothering me just a little bit, but it's not too bad. This feels like it's where that staircase should be, so that might change at some point. We have this lower dock area. Got another one that runs out here, and I'm thinking about putting another one over here. Maybe here instead of here. And we just wrapped this all the way around over here. So we've completely surrounded the lighthouse, pretty much. And then I got that done, and I was like, you know what? Why don't I go ahead and label some pathways? So I kind of redrew the lines of this street, Melon Street, I think is what I called it, to have a path that goes to the lighthouse, and another path here that goes to the dock. And so down here, I went through and started throwing up, well, here's where a stand can be, and another one, and another one, and another one, and so on and so forth with the path. These are all half slabs, so there is light underneath quite a few of them. So hopefully I don't have to do a bunch of lights out here. I will have lights out, but hopefully I don't need them. And then I was like, you know what? Why don't I do a couple more buildings? So we have the Captain's Command Dockyard Station. I'm rebranding the City Guard to Captain's Command. I think it sounds a little better. And instead of doing that big long military fort wall here, we're just gonna have a few stations around for them. That way we can keep the beach area a beach. So, the other thing, which was over here, that I added, is I'm gonna do the Dockside Bar Top Lounge. So this is gonna be a raised platform, kind of like a gazebo, and it's gonna be like a little tiki bar kind of thing. Right here by the docks. And then we'll hop on the yellow street here. And, you know what, let me grab these. Might be a little easier to see when I do this. Let's do this. Well, yeah, this is pretty good. I have slotted out a few spots for compressed housing. So each one of these will be its own little house. And I'm probably gonna design them. So I've been playing Pokemon White again on my 3DS. It's a lot of fun. But I think I'm gonna design them like Pokemon houses. You walk in, you have that bottom floor, and then a staircase in the back that takes you up to a bedroom. So each one of these will be very repeatable, and I just got to figure out, how to decorate a little, I'm going to say 7 by 10 area. They're going to be pretty small. But I'll have them here, and I'll probably mirror them over here. But the ones over here will be a little fancier because they're going to open up to the beach. Please drop the trident. And... no. Of course not. Dumb. Okay. The next thing that I outlined, I'm going to go a little further over. Go about here. Yeah. So, this building right here, this chaotic mess of blocks, is going to be the library, okay? And the idea with it is a bunch of small sections with different of the librarian villagers. This square here is going to become, well, it's going to be about that size. And that's going to be a park. The main city park will be right here. It'll just have like a couple spots in, like a couple benches and custom trees. I think I called that the apothecary. Back there, that building's not going to exist anymore, but I don't know what I'm replacing it with. And now it's nighttime. Gets a little scary out here at night. We've played in this world long enough that the mob spawns are increased, and they all start wearing armor. So a lot of them are in chainmail now, and they did not used to be. Hello, Mr. Bones. Oh, the other thing. We'll go down here. And this is the project that I'm kind of picking up now to do next, because it's going to require some adventuring. And that is down here. Well, I guess that crashed. I've had Netflix open behind me on the TV in my bedroom, and the movie stopped playing, and now the whole Netflix seems to have crashed, which sounds pretty standard for Netflix. So, this I picked up for these guys from a wandering trader. And I was like, sweet, now I can finally have dripstone. I can multiply it by throwing it on a block with water above it. Wrong. No, you have to put the dripstone on a dripstone block with water above it for it to be able to grow. So I'm still gonna have to go adventuring to find it. I also got the, there they are. The sulfur ones. So we have these now as well, but they also require, I think, being on a sulfur block. But at least I got 8 of those. So I might be able to, you know what? Let me go ahead and look that up real quick. Okay, that is confirmed. Do that. We'll make 1 block. And I guess we'll start it over here, I guess. And just shave this back. and wait. But in the meantime, until I can get the dripstone blocks, I figured we'd try to get some lava. I know it's really slow, but hopefully it'll work eventually. So, until then, I am going to pick a direction and start heading that way. The tricky part is I've kind of gone a lot of different ways already, so I gotta find somehow a direction for new everything. I'm thinking... What time is it? Midday. Okay. So if we come back out here... We've gone that way a little bit. We've gone this way quite a ways. I have gone this way, but I deleted a lot of that footage because it wasn't good, and I never found anything. So I think we're going to go that way, to the other side of the lighthouse. And hopefully, if we keep going that way, we will find some sulfur springs and the other dripstone cave. So, I'm going to get some stuff ready for that, and make that probably the next episode. Thank you guys for joining, and I'll catch you then. Bye.